Okay. I think we're live. I see we got 3 viewers going on. One of them is not me, surprisingly. So, what's up, Knick fans? How we doing? We got Zach here with us today. How you doing, Zach?
What's up? Doing good.
Yeah, good win. Yeah, facts.
Yes,
Jinx by Minnesota. Knicks win. Well, how many points did we put them out by?
We put them out by, what was that, 18? I think
Good
18.
stuff.
We needed to win that. That was a must-win.
Yeah.
That Wizards team is dreadful to watch. I'm sorry, Wizards fans. My God.
They suck.
You have a rough team.
Yeah.
You're a really bad team.
Especially because Bradley Beal. He didn't play tonight, you know?
And, yeah, you're benching Bradley Beal for rest. Versus a team that you could beat, technically.
Yeah, that was a good chance right
Knicks
there.
Knicks are a winnable team to beat.
Yeah.
If you're a team that's, are they the second worst in the East now? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to compete.
That's only next to Detroit, too, isn't it? Because Detroit really sucks. But it's not the only 6 wins they had. I read it somewhere, but I don't know the exact wins. But it's like Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Nuggets. Like, it's the only 6 wins are like the best teams in the league. It doesn't make any sense.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible for the good teams.
Terrible teams. Yeah. But you should. If you're doing that, you got to beat better teams. It's just that.
Oh yeah.
And you got talent. Like you got Westbrook and you got Beal, and you can't win. It's
hard to watch sometimes.
It's bad to look at. The Knicks are 2 and you're losing to a team that badly. That's 12 and 15, and you're benching. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can just bench Beal.
Can I say? Maybe they bet on the fact that we play bad tonight, and this is their chance for Bradley Beal to rest. But I don't know. I guess they bet wrong. So we played great. There's obviously disappointing news. If you're a casual, you probably haven't heard yet. Maybe you have. But Mitchell Robinson fractured his hand tonight. Big L. Yeah. That hurts, you know.
It's going to hurt defense, and it's going to hurt offense.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to hurt Quickly's game. Because Quickly always loves to throw the lobs.
Yeah.
Kind of Nerlens Noel doesn't really have that in him. Or Taj, that's for sure. So.
You know what I'm thinking? We may see a lot more minutes from Obi in the recent games. Yeah. Because, we might have Randall sliding at center. Because, Taj plays, but he's, one of those guys that only plays as a filler. You feel me? He doesn't play to be the star of the team. Whereas we kind of need someone like that at this point. I guess RJ, when he's on, we win, right? But he wasn't on tonight. We just got lucky that the Wizards suck. But now that we don't have Mitch, who had, honestly, the best half of his career, not even going to lie. He had, the best half of his entire career, and then he fractures his hand. It just sucks. It's not fair. He goes and he drops 10 and 14 in only 20 minutes on for, a 2020 game, and he breaks his hand. And he played with it, too.
Yeah. And that's a phenomenal game for him. And he only did that in half.
Yeah. It's not fair.
Phenomenal game.
Hey, we won the game, though. It does prove that although we did lose Mitch, and they came back quite a bit, we did pull away in the second half, which is something you don't see a lot, we don't usually see the Knicks pulling away like that.
Yeah. I think it's, yeah.
I'm just more used to the Knicks choking. We had a good lead at halftime, and I was like, okay, so we're not going to have this forever because Mitch is hurt and he's out. But I guess not.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see the Mitch effect when we don't have him. It's going to come up versus we're playing the Rockets. We have a tough schedule coming up. Yeah. So we kind of got a break here with the Wizards of how much of a joke that team was. Yeah. They shot less than 25% from 3, and they were shooting a ton of threes. They threw up 34 threes, made 9 of them.
Damn!
That's embarrassing. You're an NBA team, and you're doing that.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
they were definitely chucking bricks.
They were just chucking them up.
And then that Matthews guy. What's his name? What'd you say his name was? His first name? Do you even remember? Garrison Matthews. He probably goes by Gary, but Garrison Matthews was their starting shooting guard tonight, replacement for Bradley Beal. That just shows you, I feel bad for the hand that Bradley Beal and Scott Brooks were dealt, because quite frankly, Westbrook's uncoachable, okay? At the end of the day, he had 23, 10, and 9, but it's empty stats because they lost by almost 20 points. And this Gary Matthews guy shoots 40% from 3, and they still lose.
Yeah, the guy took 13 shots.
He took 10. Oh, well, you're right, 13.
Threes. 13 shots at total.
That's insane. He looked like he was having a good game. But you know what kept pissing me off? They kept calling him Davis Bertans.
Yeah, they couldn't get his name right.
Yeah, Clyde didn't say anything. What's that guy's name? I'm sorry that I don't know his name. I'm just not familiar with commentating. It doesn't matter if you don't know.
I want to say Green.
No, Mike Breen. That was not him. Mike Breen is more professional than that. He goes, "Oh, my bad." This guy didn't even know he made a mistake. He said it twice, 2 consecutive possessions, 3 maybe, but
yeah, I think it was 3, maybe
3.
Definitely 2, maybe 3.
Something like that, bro. I don't know. Anyway, I mean,
sometimes
Mitchell Robinson breaking his hand, Zach. I mean, I know we said we're gonna see it on the defensive end, we're gonna see it through the bench, but like on a more real level, we are gonna miss this guy for probably at least 4 weeks. Maybe. At least is my bet. It just depends how bad
they say tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to get a second look tomorrow. That's going to tell us all what it is. But we've seen guys go out like Steph Curry, I thought, immediately with the broken hand. But that was really bad.
Yeah. He had surgery on that one.
Severe.
Also, though, with Steph Curry, it made more sense to not play him because they were already so bad. Whereas Mitch, he can come back at any point in the season. We're playing him 30 minutes a game. But this article from Stefan Bondi, who was on the podcast at one point, not voluntarily. I took an audio clip of me asking him a question I put on the podcast, but he reports on this article, Mitch Robinson broke his hand. It's such a shame, though. Like, we need him. He's part of this process that we're building, this winning culture, and it just sucks that he got hurt.
Yeah. It's a very important part of this team right now.
We've got other players, too. I mean, it's just we don't have center depth. He was, honestly, if anyone else had gotten hurt, if Peyton got hurt, if RJ got hurt, if Bullock got hurt, even if Randall got hurt, Randall would hurt the most. But if Randall got hurt, at least we have, like, Obi. And I'm not saying Obi is a Randall-level player, but we don't even have anyone of Mitch's caliber, like, next to him. Because we have Nerlens, who's all right. Don't get me wrong, he's good. But then behind that is Taj. Like,
that's very true.
That's not good. He's the guy we picked up. We don't have
good 5 depth.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Like, because even if, like I said, if RJ got hurt, sure, we got, like, Knox, and you can even play Frank at the small forward. That should honestly be his position, okay? Argue with me there if you want, but he's one of the best defensive players on the team. He just can't get offense going. I mean, if you're looking at RJ tonight, 3 for 13, and we still won, I'm pretty sure Frank could do that. Just saying. I think Frank could score 8 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 rebounds.
Yep.
In 26 minutes. Frank could be begging for 26 minutes in the G League. Like, I could see it happening, And then we may also have to make a trade because of this, which kind of sucks if you think about it, because I'm just saying Taj Gibson as a backup center isn't going to work for the next, like, however many games. It's got to be at least 10 games he's missing. It's a fractured hand. And even then, you have to take into account.
Make a trade.
I don't know, maybe. I think
we don't
Austin
really have
Rivers
much to give at this point. Are we really going to flip Austin Rivers for a backup center right now? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it may be a smart move to make in the short term to do that, but if you're talking long term, it just doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense, yeah.
But we will see a lot more of guys like Taj playing. He played tonight, but that's because of Mitch not playing. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have seen him otherwise, though. It was nice to see Knox out there.
The last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, at least he was out there. At least he was out there. True. I mean, he put up 1 shot. It was a, winding down shot clock situation, so I don't blame him or anything. But he had a good game nonetheless. 0 points, -5, 2-person. Actually, he had a terrible game. Why am I joking myself? I'm trying to convince myself that Knox has some sort of potential. It just doesn't.
It was just garbage.
It wasn't his fault. He just didn't have time.
The shot wasn't his fault.
I'm trying to check the Knicks PR as much as possible because I doubt they'll show us anything until tomorrow or late tonight. But it couldn't hurt to maybe if they'd done an X-ray. If they already done an X-ray and they figured it out, why can't they just assess it? I don't understand.
They're probably just going to get second opinions tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Get New York coach. They're not in New York right now, so.
Yeah, they're in Washington. On the road? Are we going to be on the road versus Houston? I feel like we should be on the road versus Houston, but I will say one thing. Oladipo is not playing Sunday, so that helps a lot. And Christian Wood has that high ankle sprain. He's out. So we don't have to deal with either of those guys. But DeMarcus Cousins has been on a tear, I've been hearing. And we don't have Mitch tomorrow or Sunday, so kind of hurts.
We're going to need Nerlens Noel to step up.
And John Wall's playing because it's not a back-to-back. Yeah, that's going to hurt. I mean, that's honestly, we can keep talking about that, but that's another game. Like we might have a different roster by then. I can't even say for certain that Taj will be playing because of Julius moving to center. But we'll see what happens.
That's very potential. And that would give Opie a big spot. So.
Oh, yeah. He played good tonight. He had a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't even his fault. 16 minutes, but it was all 12 in the fourth quarter, I think he got. But, 8 points, 3 rebounds. It's good.
It was a little scary. That 3-pointer, he went 4 for 5, but the one miss was a little scary.
Uh-huh.
So, he got a lot of points from just good passes in the paint. That one from D Rose was really nice.
So yeah. The pass from D Rose or the shot?
Oh, the pass.
Oh yeah.
Not the air ball. The other one where you kind of, I don't know if you looked, but it was just a nice pass.
It was the fake, and then he passed it in.
Yeah.
Exactly. He had a few nice passes tonight. Derrick Rose had a great game again. It's exactly what I expect him to do. I just wish he was starting, but I do understand also because if you want to have Rose and quickly come off the bench, that makes sense. I mean, I get it. You want a good bench depth. It's just that simple. It makes sense. It's just also at the same time, take into account that you have, Elfrid Payton is your starter, who actually
I'm fine with that. Here's the thing why I'm fine with that. I'm only fine with it. I don't like him starting as long as he doesn't take shots. Unless they're wide open layups that he's been making, he shouldn't be taking 12 shots like he did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as he just knows his place and knows that Randall, Barrett, I'm saying Barrett, even though he had a terrible night.
He is the main. Barrett's the second guy on this team at this point.
Barrett's the second guy. Even Mitch on putbacks. But you can't. And Bullock shooting. Everybody above him in the starting lineup should be the scorers, not him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that.
No.
He's still
You're right.
drives. He's still a top scorer in this starting lineup. It's just that's the problem. That's why I see why people don't like him, and that's why I don't like him.
Exactly.
But if he just knew his spot and knew he was just starting, so we have good bench depth and we have good guys coming off the bench, totally fine. But he doesn't.
Here's what I don't understand, and I've said this numerous times, okay? Why does he get more shots than Obi Toppin? And why does he play more minutes than Obi Toppin? And why does he play more minutes than Emmanuel quickly? What is going on, Tibbs? If you're going to start him, at least play the bench more minutes. Derrick Rose, okay, and I'm not arguing he should be a starter because I think he's great off the bench. I think he's a better sixth man than a starter sometimes. Dude had 14, 6, and 3 with 4 steals in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And you got Elfrid playing 23? What are you talking about? Why are you doing that? 12, 3, and 2, 1 steal, didn't make a three-pointer. I don't get it. And he can't shoot threes at all, by the way. The only reason I'm saying didn't make a three-pointer, because Derrick Rose didn't make one either. But at the end of the day, Derrick Rose can shoot three-pointers. He can't. So
we saw it in his first game.
Yeah. It just pisses me off that he's still on the team when we have clear, better options. Even Austin Rivers, I think, would be a better player than him if Austin Rivers would pass the ball. I feel like Austin Rivers is playing for his career for some reason. He's got a long-term deal. I mean, it's not money. It's not a lot of money, but he's still got the 3 years, right? So I don't understand why he's not just playing a team game. Because I feel like when Austin plays, he had those games against the Jazz where he scored, right? But, I ain't seen any passing highlights from Austin Rivers. He's a better shooter. He's a better clutch player. Obviously, he takes better shots, but it's the passing. That's why he doesn't play. Because he's a ball dominant.
Exactly. That's why I don't even know if he's that much of a point guard. He's more like a shooting guard. And when he shoots it, he tries to get off the ball. He tries to catch and shoot.
Yeah.
It's not what a point guard like you, if you want to get minutes, it's not how you can play right now.
Exactly. And his defense
is be more of a passer.
I'm discrediting Elfrid a lot in his defense because he puts effort in on the defensive end. He does play good defense. But it's just his offense is so hard to watch. It's the 6 shots he missed are just always the worst shots. He makes tough ones, but it's usually the other way around, where I look at it as him not making the tough ones, but I look at it as him missing the bad ones. So, if that makes any sense. I just don't appreciate the shots he takes. And I have to mention, because it is essential to the Knicks, the Mavericks, they won again. They're just sliding into the playoffs slowly since Porzingis got back. But I will say, they did play the Pelicans tonight, who are still young. I get it. Zion only missed 1 shot the entire freaking night. 36 points. My God.
That's amazing.
My God. 2 fouls in 37 minutes with 36 points. Are you joking? Oh my gosh. That's
incredible.
Oh my god. That shows you how badly the lottery is. It's just the lottery is mean to us. We could have had him.
I've been saying it.
Still dread it.
That the lottery is the worst thing in basketball.
I still hate it so much. I love RJ some days more than others, but my god, bro. Zion would have been way better. 8 for 11 from the line, the free throw line. I wish RJ could do that. Didn't even shoot free throws. And then obviously you got some complimentary pieces like Lonzo. 12, 7, and 6. If we traded for 12, 7, and 6, I'd be a happy man. Just depends what we have to give up. Like, I heard that Leon Rose, by the way, and I don't know who it's for or anything, but I heard Leon Rose was trying to come up with some Godfather offer, Zach. Like, that's the reason that they're keeping Frank and Knox.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to put him in some other big deal, is what I heard. I was like, whoa. What big deal? Trying to trade for Oladipo?
We need a star.
I heard Beal. They're monitoring the Beal situation closely. Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal. But then I also saw that Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine are the most unlikely to get traded at the deadline. So,
yeah. I think this team they definitely need a star.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they need a guard. Shooting guard, fine, but not a point guard now.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Lonzo's kind of doesn't really make sense
right.
anymore.
No, you're
unless
right.
you're going to give up
Derrick Rose or something. Like, if you're trying to give up Derrick Rose, someone else for Lonzo, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But just don't give up quickly.
Why'd we get Derrick Rose? There's no point.
Exactly. You got a good point there.
Rose.
No, I agree with you. But I would have pre-D Rose trade 100%. Like, I feel like it was either one or the other. We decided to trade for D Rose because he was really cheap, which made sense. I get it. If all you have to give up is a G League player and a second-round pick, you do it. You pretty much gave up 2 G League players for a guy who could re-sign and be a 6th Man of the Year candidate. Like, that's a great deal. I don't know. I don't understand why people are criticizing that. If there's any Knick fans in the like live in the chat that want to give their opinion on that, I can't seem to understand. Why is everyone upset that we gave up a 2nd-round pick and a bust for a guy who I know he's not even close to it anymore, but he was at one point an MVP talent, which counts for something. Because at the end of the day, he still can shoot. He's a good passer. He's got a good IQ, so it doesn't make sense to not credit him. Like, he's a good player.
Yeah, that trade. A lot of people say low risk, high reward. It was no risk.
Exactly.
High reward.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we all there's no room for Dennis Smith anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He has he didn't want to be a Knick.
Right.
There's no motivation or anything to be good. Now he's just got a new place. He's got a new opportunity. I don't think he'll do anything with the new opportunity, but he's got it.
Yes.
And it's out in New York.
He doesn't deserve a new opportunity, in my opinion, but give it to him. He played in Dallas. He was okay there, but then he got traded because Luka and him weren't working, which means a winning team does not work around Dennis Smith Jr. That is the simple equation. Luka, winning team, doesn't work with Dennis Smith. What does that say? Right?
Yep.
But if Dennis Smith gets a chance in Detroit, good on him. I just don't like what he said. And it makes sense, but you hear what he said, Zach?
What did he say?
He said he was smiling all day after being traded from New York. And I said, you know what I said? Because I saw a comment, I couldn't agree more with it.
Yeah.
The feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for your services and giving us Derrick Rose. But I will mention, because I want to keep bragging about it, me and you came up with that trade for Dennis Smith. It's the exact trade that was made. What can I say?
We said Frank Ntilikina or Dennis Smith for a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, well, I think the exact trade that was highlighted, because it would have went either way with Frank or DSJ, and they liked Frank more. It could have actually gone both ways, exactly like we said, but we wanted to keep Frank because another trade or something that might happen. Mm-hmm. I heard that and I don't want to trade for Kyle Lowry. To me, it doesn't make sense, right? A lot of the Knicks trades, though, don't make much sense. So you gotta also take that into account when you're thinking about it, because Kyle Lowry, things aren't working out in Toronto. Apparently, he listed his mansion for sale, is the rumor. I mean, it's not a rumor, it's a fact. He listed his mansion for sale, so that could mean something, or it could mean he's relocating somewhere else in Toronto, or whatnot. But I'm just saying, Kawhi, when he bought that LA mansion,
yeah,
it was either Clippers or Lakers, and he went to the Clippers.
LeBron was house shopping in LA.
Yep, just saying. It's how it works.
It's a good point.
Yeah, so it looks like probably Kyle Lowry. I think he's going to go to the Heat by the deadline, though. I could see them giving up like Goran Dragic and like Kendrick Nunn and like a pick. No, maybe not a pick, but Kendrick Nunn is enough as a young asset if they're rebuilding.
That's fair.
Because, you got Fred VanVleet, right?
Yeah, you got Freddie. You're fine.
So you're good. You got him on a max for a few years. Kyle Lowry has done his part. He's a Toronto legend at this point, shockingly enough. I mean, not shockingly, but, it kind of shows how weak and young your franchise is to him be one of your legends. No offense, Kyle. You're great, but it's no Vince Carter. It's no LeBron James. It's Kyle Lowry, right?
And DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. He's the best player in their franchise history, maybe aside from Kawhi, because Kawhi brought them the only championship they have. So I'd say it's fair to maybe put Kawhi in the conversation at least. But DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Kawhi, Vince. That's it. Maybe T-Mac. He was there, right?
T-Mac was there.
That's it. They don't really have much. Yeah, I said Vince.
Prime.
Reconnection successful. Okay, sorry. My Windows was just giving me some issues about OBS. It was disconnecting, reconnecting. I've never seen it before, but we're good now. Anyway, I actually wouldn't mind though trading for Kyle Lowry if we had to give up Derrick Rose or something. Let's just say hypothetically, it goes something like this: they want D Rose because there's some sort of 2-week trade exception, which would be fine. But if they want D Rose and they want Frank, because I know they wanted Frank. That's what the Raptors said. They're interested in him. So, give up that. We got Kyle Lowry, who's still on a 1-year deal. He could leave, but so could D Rose. And Frank is not being used. But you definitely upgrade your point guard spot big time. That you got your bona fide starter right there. And you got Quickly still on the team. He's coming off the bench. Hope to God you push Elfrid out of the rotation finally. That's still a good team.
Hopefully.
But it doesn't mean you push Elfrid out. So, I don't really see the Knicks making it. That's the best offer, though. I mean, is there any other offers?
I feel it's a little unrealistic. Yeah. I don't think Lowry's coming to New York whatsoever.
Exactly. He's 34.
It's just not realistic.
Yeah. D Rose, he's 32.
No, you brought in D Rose for a reason. You're not just trying to trade him like that.
Exactly. And he's playing under Tibbs, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And if they want to use Frank in an actual trade, which we should for a star.
Should be Beal or Levine.
Just makes no sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need one of those. We need a shooting guard. That is for sure. We need a shooting guard star traded. So you got to save those assets for that.
I got to say, Zach, because it's getting close, I do want to pull up the trade simulator because, it couldn't hurt to throw some stuff around here, there, and everywhere, right?
I got a Bradley Beal deal for you.
I would love to see it. Let me fire up the trade machine. Oh.
So we might have to throw in...
Knicks.
Might have to mess with the salary a little.
That's totally fine. We actually have $16.5 million we have to use before the deadline. And we traded for Derrick Rose, but that still doesn't fill the cap up because he's on such a small deal. So we still have $15 million. Okay. So if we wanted to use that, we could be trading away some salaries and taking in a big one, which means Levine or Beal. Or even who's another guy? I heard another name, but I'm just totally forgetting. You know what, actually? No. I think it was John Collins or something, so forget it. But we don't even need John Collins. There's no point. Unless you really are fully rebuilding, which still doesn't make sense, and you trade Randall and you get assets back. Hypothetically, and I don't think I would do this, but if you were going to get Okongwu and Collins for Randall, would you do it?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because I feel like I'm getting the same stats with either power forwards, and you have to give Collins way more money soon. So
that's true. The max
doesn't really make much sense.
I forgot about
which is
that.
Ridiculous. Why does this guy want a max?
Right.
But if he does, then it just makes no sense.
It's got to be Bradley Beal, and then I'm sorry, what else?
So, are you talking about the deal I had about?
Yeah. Go ahead. You just let me know.
So Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
We're giving up pretty much our future.
That's true.
I feel like it's totally.
That's what you have to do.
R.J. Barrett and OP Top.
Okay, but you did mention that to me. How did I forget?
I did mention that to you. But that trade makes a lot of sense for us if we're trying to win.
I am almost confident that trade works, but here's the thing. It's Bradley frickin' Beal. Now, as much as you're going to say I'm overpaying.
That's the start.
It may have to be 2 firsts after
that.
So you're telling me RJ, Obi, and 2 firsts. And potentially Frank, too. I could see Frank going. But who knows? Throw in Frank. I mean, because I know he's no Anthony Davis, but statistically he is way better than Anthony Davis.
Oh, we need a superstar.
This is the Melo trade, but except we're giving up legitimate young assets. Like, I feel like that is an acceptable trade plus a pick and whatnot. I think you could trade picks, yeah. So what pick? I mean, would it be ours this year? Maybe Dallas
I'd
too?
give ours first year. Oh, you want to... I wouldn't flip both. I'd have
maybe just ours, and then we keep Dallas. And it could go either way, but...
Then we can give up ours next year. Just because we're going to have this.
Yeah, we'll have Beal.
That's
a lot. You know, that's a ton.
I feel like that's a great trade for us.
It's a good trade for them, and we get Beal, who's a star.
Exactly.
And we put him next to Randall. You still got Mitch on the team. Right. And you also have Quickly, by the way. Don't forget about him.
Rivers, who were benching. Knox, who were benching.
Exactly.
I feel like we can recover from that perfectly.
No, I know.
I know future-wise, because we're giving up RJ, who's, 21, 20. Then
he's 20 years old, yeah. 20, totally 22. Fine. And Frank, who's got defensive potential, but he's not even in the rotation. So what does it matter? But, those picks, those are going to be valuable picks for the Wizards. I think that would probably push the trade over, maybe make it work. It just depends, though, what other teams offer. Because I know I said the Clippers, they don't have picks and whatnot, but they have Paul George.
That's true.
I'm just saying. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Trade him, but... it would be funny. They traded him for Paul George. They got Paul George and Westbrook back in the same team.
And they just
that'd be good.
Rebuild again.
Yeah, they work around those two. It's funny because that failed. But maybe in the East it would work. Who's to say it wouldn't work in the East? They got destroyed by the Jazz, the rookie Donovan Mitchell Jazz.
And then the Trailblazers.
That's ugly.
On a buzzer beater.
Yeah. It just makes them look like such a failure, though, if you think about it like that. Like, if you're going to trade Beal after you already traded for Westbrook, who's on a bad deal, he's got 3 years left of a supermax. One of the biggest contracts in the entire league. Dude's already regressing, too. He's putting up good stats. He's just regressing. You can tell.
Yep.
But I want to see...
He can't shoot.
Is that a valid trade? I'm not sure if it would let me tell if it's a valid trade.
Yeah, I didn't know if the salary would work just because of how much money.
I got so confused here. I thought it was so weird. It was like staff was one of the options on the trade finder, and I was like, wait, can I trade Tom Thibodeau? No. But we would also have to sign some free agents. So let's say we're signing. Whoa. Okay, never mind. For some reason it has guys like Kawhi and Chris Paul and Blake Griffin optional there. That's just not realistic at all. Now, if you look at their payroll, they can take in the money. Easily, because Bradley Beal's making $28 a year, but he's on that extension, so it's gonna go up. Mm-hmm. And then
Is it backloaded?
I think it's front loaded.
You sure?
Yeah.
Does that mean he's making more?
Yeah,
that means it's going down, right?
No, front is up. I'm so used to the 2K trades, I know front is up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's back. You're right. I don't know. It could be either way. I'm not going to argue with you about it here because at the end of the day, he is making more money. That's what I think.
Yeah,
so
that's all we need to know.
If he's I heard about his deal. Why am I searching up Brady? Bradley Beal contract, right? That's not. He signed that 5-year a long time ago though. So yeah, it doesn't list that he's making it. There it is. Whoa, that's a big extension. 34.5 a year next year, and then the year after that, 37 too.
So he's gonna make more.
So it's going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got bird right. We got bird rights. So technically, if we wanted to retain him, we can go over the salary cap to do it. I think it's a good trade though, Zach, because we are mortgaging. We're getting rid of our future. Okay, but let's be honest. Even if by the time, these first-round picks, if they're good, sure, you get them. You deserve it because you traded away Bradley Beal. At the same time, by the time Bradley Beal's gone, we're going to have our first-round picks back. If he left, that is. And he's still going to be in his prime by the time his contract's up, so we could re-sign him before that, too. So there's a lot of scenarios, but if you were going to make a trade for Bradley Beal, Zach, I think you're on the right track there with giving up a lot of the future, because that's just what you got to do. And
we still keep Quickly. So.
Oh yeah, that's big. I mean, because look, we still got Alec, we still got Nerlens. I don't think they'd want any of those guys, but we have to understand, if we're giving up that much, we better have almost a guarantee that Bradley Beal wants to be here. I'm not sure if it might be considered tampering, but it's only if the Wizards allow it. like, we got to talk to Bradley Beal. Be like, listen, dude, we're giving up R.J. Barrett, Obi, and Frank with 2 firsts the next 2 years. Like, you need to give us almost a guarantee that you are okay with staying here in New York. That's just my philosophy, but...
Well, he's locked no matter what. But I don't know if he has a no-trade clause or not. He does?
Yeah, well, he could probably... I don't think he does, but here's what he could do. He could waive it, and that's only if... And if he waives his no-trade clause, he requests a trade, we're going to get him for a lot cheaper than this. Like, we might even be able to take Frank out of the deal. Because, he's cheaper. We know he wants to leave. It means he'll hit free agency in 2023 and whatnot. I mean, it doesn't make sense to trade for him. But the dude's averaging the most points in the league right now, 33. That's unreal. He's averaging Kobe stats right now. Kobe Bryant stats. So,
that's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah. 32.8, 5, and 4.5. On one of the worst teams in the league, but you surround him with a winning culture and good players, it's a different situation. And Julius Randle, by the way, is a really good number 2. Not necessarily for a championship, but like if we're talking about a playoff contender, that's great. Because he can't close.
100%.
Let's be real. Julius Randle, he's really great and all, but I don't think he can close games. Not like Bradley Beal can. So if you can get Bradley Beal, Derrick Rose, and Julius Randle, you got 3 potential closers. And that's all you need for a playoff team, because in those situations, you can't just give it to one guy and expect him to work every time. And you got options, right? And quickly, he's on the come up, right? Obviously, we have some G League guys who are on the come up. Regardless whether or not you like him, you hate him. Miles Powell, I didn't watch the game, but he dropped 22 and 9 today. So that's encouraging in the G League. Ignas Brazdegas has been popping off. Like, I knew he was like the G League MVP or something. But that just shows how disrespected some of these players are. Like, Ignas Brazdegas, sure, he was put down the G League. Maybe he would have played today, like in the final garbage minutes. But I don't think he would have, But he is a legitimate guy in the G League. He's just can't get it done.
Yeah. If we're benching guys like Kevin Knox, we know that he's not getting minutes on the Knicks.
Kevin Knox would be better in the G League, just to get him some playing time, just like the Dennis Smith Jr. situation. But then again, you put Kevin Knox in the G League, what does that say about your franchise? Like, you don't even want to develop him in the league. Like, it's just, Yeah, the only reason...
He has NBA talent. He's not that good.
Exactly.
But I'm just trying to say, like, he's in the middle of being bad, but at least enough to be in the NBA.
Right. Like, Dennis Smith Jr. was bad, so that makes sense. But Kevin Knox, if he goes out there and he's in the corner, he'll give you like 50%. So 50% from 3, that is. Anyway, Derrick Rose, him being on the team now was a move to contend for the playoffs. So making this Bradley Beal trade kind of just cements that you can make the playoffs at that point. But it just hurts so much. You have to give up so much. But at the same time, you're making a move for Bradley Beal, who at the end of the day is your future if you're trading for him. And you're also banking on Randle maybe even re-signing with you next offseason. Not this coming offseason, but the next one, because we have to accept his team option, right? Like, the only situation I see us not accepting his team option, if we tell him, listen, Julius, we want you back, but we want you on a more long-term deal, so we're going to decline your team option and offer you this. That makes sense to me. But if I'm the Knicks, I accept his team option and I negotiate an extension at the trade deadline. That's what I do. But,
totally.
He's been great. Oh, yeah. We're talking about a 22 and 11 with almost 6 assists. And tell me he's not an all-star. You can say all you want about Kyrie Irving, Sabonis, Kevin Durant, all those sort of guys, because they're all-stars every year now, right? But it's really the situation, the question, who is having a better year? Would you rather have Sabonis or Randle? I'm just saying. As much as I like Sabonis, I think he's great. Maybe he's putting up great stats. Randle, most improved at this point. Who's put in more work? Who's done better, team game? I think Randle. So, although he's probably going to get snubbed from the All-Star game, he's had a great year. Because I saw something, Zach, and I'm just going on and on, but I saw something on Instagram. Apparently, in 2015-16, there was 9 players that were scoring 20-plus a game. 9. Guess how many there are now?
There's a ton.
45.
Oh my god.
Compared to 9 a few years ago. It's not even 5 years. Actually, yes it is. But it's about 5 years. So, whoops. My Knicks blanket fell. Anyway, though, At the end of the day, he deserves it. He might not get it because there's so much talent in the league, but he deserves it.
That's true. We'll see.
Now, did you have any other trade scenario, with the
trades
idea that we may not get Bradley Beal? Okay, that makes sense if we don't get him, if they don't trade him. Because they could just say, listen, as much as we're okay with listening to offers for him, we're just not going to do it because it's Bradley Beal. They got him on a 3-year deal. So, what are you thinking? We're talking about Zach LaVine maybe, because I know that team's not working, let's be honest.
Yeah. Are they going to... Have they said anything about trading Zach LaVine?
He is their franchise player, but, the package is a package. And he's only on a 1-year... Is it a 1-year deal, or did he sign... I think he signed an extension.
Yeah, he signed it a while ago, though.
Oh, yeah. He's only got 2 years left, including this year. So, it's not a lot of time.
I don't know if you know, but he was on a... like those contracts where if you match it, you get him back?
Oh, and he tried the Kings, right? Didn't he try and go to the Kings?
Tried to go to the Kings.
Wow, that's crazy. That would have been a nice team.
$80 million, 4 years, and then the Bulls matched it. So
that's crazy. Could you imagine though? Could you imagine him and Fox? Buddy Hield may have not even been on that team anymore. He may be on our team if he had signed that deal. Yeah. Because he was a free agent. Wait, no. He would have been a free agent, but he wasn't because they got an extension.
Because they signed it. Yeah, exactly.
But he would have been maybe. So, who knows? I think it's not even a question. You have to go with Frank in this deal. And the only reason I say Frank, first of all, is because they had, what's his name? Chris Dunn, right? You want to talk about a guy who's just like Chris Dunn, I'll give you Frank. He's the second coming of him. He's a high draft pick who had potential, never got it going in the NBA, but it's still a defensive lockdown. That's Chris Dunn. Okay? So, Frank, I'm going to let you kind of put the rest of the package together, Zach, because by this point, I would just let you do it. I don't know what you think we should give up. Or
I'm going to go by player.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want him. I think we definitely have to give up Opie in the deal, but they're so forward-heavy to the point where I don't know what they want. Like, it would make total sense to do Julius. Going off of last year's Julius, now it's kind of tough to say, we got to trade Julius. But they're just so forward-heavy.
Right, like Lowry.
I don't want to say, RJ again, because it just doesn't make that much sense to do that.
No, it does. I get it. If you were going to do RJ...
Opie and RJ?
I don't think it would cost that much. I think if you're talking about a legitimate trade, I think you're just going to give up RJ and, a second-round pick. That's it, though. Because I think, at the end of the day, Zach LaVine's asking price is high. If Lonzo Ball's asking price is that high, Zach LaVine, you best expect, is going to cost at least RJ. Okay, let's be real. Because if Zach LaVine is content with his situation in the Bulls, which he hasn't, obviously you can't go out and say you don't want to be there, right? But if he's content, there's no reason they trade him. RJ, a second-round pick. RJ has a lot of potential. Even though he hasn't been playing too hot, he's 20 years old. Zach LaVine is in his 20s. What is he, 24 maybe? Got to be older, right? 25?
Older than that, 27.
27. Okay, so you're giving up a lot.
He just signed a 4-year deal.
It's true, but was it early?
And he's already 2 years into it. Can't be that early.
Yeah.
Age. He's 25. Okay, I was a little older.
Okay, so yeah, he's right around that age, but it's 5-year difference. You're banking on a guy, RJ Barrett. Can RJ Barrett in 5 years for your team be as good as Zach LaVine is right now?
I feel like they're gonna have to give up more than just a second-round pick.
You think so?
I feel like
because
RJ pick in there.
Maybe it's an emotional connection. I don't know, but I don't think you have to give up a really good first-round pick. I think maybe you give up the Dallas one. I think that makes sense to me, but that's a lot because then again, Zach LaVine, 2 years left on his deal. After that, he's a restricted free agent, or no, he's not even restricted. He's unrestricted. I don't know. Sure if they have bird rights. Let me search up Zach LaVine.
Oh, he was just a restricted free agent, so there's no way he'd sign another restrict. I don't even think that's possible.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's a rookie thing. Like every time you're a rookie, you either take the qualifying offer or you're restricted. That's just how the contracts work. Like that's why Zion's going to be on the Pelicans for the next 5 years.
For 10 years.
10, you're right. If he signs the max, he's there for a while.
He's definitely signing a max.
He deserves it. Yeah, he's unrestricted free agent in 2022, so that's coming up pretty soon. But he signed that 4-year 78, pretty much 80. Let's be honest, with bonuses and stuff, it's more than 80. And that's such a steal of a deal too for the Bulls, especially because how well he was playing. He's a guy I think the Knicks probably should have thrown an offer at back in the day. It just would have made sense. They just didn't.
He wasn't as good as he's been
Yeah.
when he signed that deal, but now he's 100% worth what he's more than what he's making.
It's funny because the Kings offer pretty much the exact, almost. No, I'm sorry. Buddy Hield's making more than what they offered LaVine, and it's funny because Buddy Hield accepted it, right? Zach LaVine also accepted it, but they got the worst out of the two. So that's the unfortunate part about the Sacramento Kings. I feel like we see that a lot with them. But I feel like it would be so much to give up RJ for a guy who isn't even guaranteed to stay. Like, you're giving up your 3rd overall pick, like, in his 2nd year, not even. That's a lot.
Yeah, but we're talking about Zach LaVine. And if we're trying to win, give us a big package, we have to do that.
No, you're right. We do have to do that. I'm just saying, for the sake of the Knicks being good for the future, you have to make sure Zach LaVine wants to stay with your franchise. You have to cater to him anything he wants. Like, give him a house on the water, James Dolan. Just give him everything. Pay him under the table if you must. Keep him there. There's no way I give up RJ Barrett in a 1st-round pick if it means a year of Zach LaVine. That's just me. I'd rather wait until free agency. And that is even if they give up Zach LaVine the trade deadline. I think they're keeping him. Because if you're going to give up anyone on the Bulls, and I wouldn't make a trade for him as the Knicks, but if you're going to give up anybody in the world, you trade Laurie right now. A 23-year-old who has proven to not be that great, let's be honest. He hasn't been that great. And I'm not making a trade scenario for the Knicks because the Knicks don't need him. But if you're going to trade anyone, you trade Laurie. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I like... Obviously, you always like to wait till free agency, but we're the Knicks. Free agency just isn't... We got James Dolan as our owner.
I know.
It just isn't our thing. So the only way we're going to get star talent is draft or trades. Just nobody wants to come to the Knicks. Well, nobody wants to play for James Dolan.
Here's the thing. And this is what I've been thinking. I thought about this last night when I was falling asleep. Okay? And it only occurred to me now. Kevin Durant, when he said that he signed with the Brooklyn Nets, and he's asked, why he signed with the Brooklyn Nets, not the Knicks, because it was all over Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. He wanted to sign with a winning culture. The Nets made the playoffs that year with D'Lo, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're talking about a winning culture, that's what the Knicks are building as we speak. You got a young core, which is what the Nets had, like a legitimate young core. This is honestly just as good as theirs. They had Karras, Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Lo. They lost D'Lo. But they had him, Jared Allen.
Yeah.
We got Mitch, Obi, RJ, Frank, Knox, all this young talent, okay? And and Quickly. I totally forgot about Quickly. How did I forget? And we're winning. So, and Julius is even considered young. He's only 26 years old. He's not even in his prime yet. I mean, you could say maybe it's his prime at this point, but there's more growth, You can be a better shooter. You can be a better defender. There's work to do.
The start of his prime.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we got him on a really good deal. So, that's not something I would have said last year, but now I would say we had him on a good deal.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you want to talk about winning culture, Kevin, this is the winning culture you asked for. So, if we're going to retain anyone or get anyone back in free agency, I think this is kind of our year to get a star. And I know there's not really much in free agency this year, but I got to look at the free agencies because, Giannis signed the extension. Kawhi is now... Kawhi is the only player that actually hasn't signed one. Here's the thing, though, Zach. Okay? Call me crazy, and I don't think he would go to the Knicks out of any teams. I'm not even sure where he would go. Probably just re-sign with the Clippers. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. But you have to understand, if Kawhi loses again this year with Paul George and he plays like trash in the playoffs, is that the guy you want to play with for the next 5 years?
That's true.
I'm not saying the Knicks have a chance of getting him, okay? I've said that for years, and I've been disappointed for years. So I'm not going to say it out loud. But if you get what I'm dishing here, Kawhi Leonard, okay, if he does not go to the championship this year, if he doesn't make the Western Conference Finals, does he decline his player option? Because he has one this year. If he declines his player option, he's a free agent. It's anyone's chance. Is it Miami? Milwaukee, trade away Chris Middleton, sign and trade, whatnot. Or do the Knicks offer him a bag and he sees we have a winning culture? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What situation do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the East? Do you want to be in the West? Do you want to be on a championship contender? Do you want to build your own?
I feel like he's finally where he wants to be in his career.
Yeah.
Which is LA. Mm-hmm. But it's what he values more. If he seems like I don't know. I feel like he's the kind
seems
of
like a hometown boy. I feel like
exactly. I feel like he doesn't like he obviously wants to win. He just won an NBA championship.
Yeah,
but when he's in LA, I don't think he'd pick to go to New York and try and win over just being exactly where he wants to be in LA.
No, I see where you're coming from. Now, the only thing is, though, and this is my counter to that, because that makes plenty of sense. Don't get me wrong. But if, hypothetically, he does sign another deal, does that jeopardize his legacy, and does he care? Because, like you said, could be more of a hometown boy. He doesn't care about the legacy. Dude doesn't even have social media. Okay? So what does he care? But, at the end of the day, if he wants to go down as one of the better players, if he wants to still compete as one of the greatest of all time, because I know he's a huge Jordan fan, okay? Does he want to go build his own legacy somewhere? I'm just saying. I know maybe LA is the place to do that, but you really want to do it next to Paul George on a $200 million contract for the next 5 years? Really? With a regressing Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell left? It really, you're right. It goes down to winning or being the hometown boy.
That's true.
Always that. But, I mean, even if you left Paul George, are you in a better situation with Derrick Rose and Julius Randle? It's just where you want to be. It makes sense, but I can dream. I can dream. Anyway, I feel like we've been talking so much about the trade scenarios, which I like doing, that we really haven't even talked about the game itself. I want to talk a little bit about Julius Randle. You cool with that?
Yeah.
You know, he's been having good games. 24 and 18 is ridiculous. And I think a big reason of that, and I know he had 11 rebounds in the first half with Mitch still being there, but 18 rebounds, I'm not sure if he would have pulled down that many if Mitch wasn't in the game, which kind of worries me because you have to worry now about the offensive glass when we're shooting, or I'm sorry, when we're playing defense. Are we going to be able to get those rebounds that Mitch would provide for us?
Or the putbacks.
Yeah, the putbacks too. What were you saying? He's got like putback Hall of Fame now. Like
Hall of Fame putback box?
Yeah.
I think that's the badge.
No, you're right. I think that's 100% the badge. But the issue is now we don't have Mitch. So can Julius Randle lock down the paint for us? Will it have to be Nerlens? And if Nerlens, because Nerlens got in foul trouble tonight, big time.
What was it? First half?
3 fouls on Robin Lopez. Are you joking? What if we have to play the Jazz again? I don't think we play the Jazz again, do we? Played them twice. They're a West team.
No, we don't. You only play them twice.
We're playing an elite center like Joel Embiid, who we will play again.
That's true.
What are you going to do? You're playing DeMarcus Cousins tomorrow. And I know he's way past his prime, but it's DeMarcus Cousins. The dude's got skills. Are you going to be able to get out of foul trouble? Is that going to be an issue for you? It's a legitimate question. Let's check something. All right, yeah. But is that going to be an issue for you tomorrow? And if it is Taj going to have the same issue? And then is Julius going to have the issue? Because they don't have Christian Wood tomorrow, thank God, because we probably would be screwed. But at the end of the day, you got to be careful because if you get in foul trouble early, we're going to be in big trouble. And this is like Mitch's first serious injury of his career, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's not even the injury I expected. I expected, honestly, him to have some sort of knee injury or ankle injury that would put him out for a few weeks, but it was his hand. His hand that he blocks the ball with. Just phenomenal.
It makes sense. It's not like you just said, like knee makes more sense, but if a foul's going to happen, if it's your blocking hand.
Yeah, I get it.
On a freak hit. I think it hit a ball, or he hit the ball weird.
I think he hit Julius. I saw the play, but what Clyde was saying, because it looked like he like broke it on a hit or something, but then he followed through, and Clyde was like, it looks like it was on Julius or something. I guess it's something like that. I don't know. He's probably wrong. He's wrong about a lot of things. I'm going to be honest with you. Bad eyes or something. Anyway, I want to talk about quickly, too. Like, I want to talk about the interesting pieces, right? I don't want to talk about no Reggie Bullock, okay? Because he had a bad game.
Yeah.
That's not a lie. But anyway, I love watching Emmanuel Quickly. He's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a fun young player. It's always fun to watch young players.
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch guys like Reggie Bullock that just sit in his spot, wait for the ball to shoot.
Yeah. It's fun pleasing when it goes in.
Because he can do everything.
Exactly. And playing with D Rose. You know what? If anyone's in the chat, come up with a nickname. Me and Zach were trying to do it during the game. Went tragically wrong. Came up with terrible names. It just doesn't work like Quivers did, you know? Austin Rivers and Emmanuel Quickly, if you aren't familiar. But, bro, I think this dude, and I know he won't win it because LaMelo Ball exists, but he would be in contention for Rookie of the Year. I think it'd be nice. 11.5 and 2.3, 2.7. I'm probably like, how many minutes a game do you think this dude's playing? Like 16 average?
Oh, more.
Are you sure?
I'd say over 20.
Oh, 20. Lately. It looks like 20.
Yeah, he's been playing over 20 every game. So.
Yeah. 19 minutes a game average.
Yeah, there's just guys over him that just play more minutes and just play amazing. Like LaMelo Ball. He's been playing like 38 minutes a game.
I was disappointed with Thibodeau, though. I feel like if we played this dude 32 minutes a game, he'd put up LaMelo Ball stats. Maybe not the rebounds, but definitely the assists.
Definitely the points, easily.
And the points, yeah.
He'd put over 20, easily.
Oh, yeah. It's not even a question. He's had he's had a 30-point game already, right?
Oh, 31.
That's crazy. And he played 25 minutes in that game. I remember that. 25, 31, and he led the comeback. We didn't win, but he led the comeback as a rookie in like his 10th game ever. What?
Sure.
How does he do that? I don't understand. Anyway, there's Quickly's a guy who I think is going to be our future shooting guard. I don't think he's going to be point guard for us though, because as much as like he's a good passer, he can float the ball into the rim, all that sort of stuff. I just don't see him as a ball handler. Does that sound wrong? Because I just don't. When he brings the ball up the floor, it doesn't look wrong. It doesn't look any of that stuff. It's just the way he handles it sometimes. I'm just not confident. I feel like there's better ball handlers. Like Derrick Rose, he's experienced, right? And tell me, you stop me if I'm talking crazy. But I just think that he'd be better running the floor, trying to create his own shot, than working off the ball. Because he can. I'm not saying he can't create his own shot. I just think it's easier if he's a catch-and-shoot player. He'd make more shots that way.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he'd do either.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's always done both. Especially that sophomore year, he did play shooting guard, played amazing. But he could play point guard. Played point guard freshman year. I'm assuming all college he played point guard.
Oh, he did?
Did I say Yeah.
Oh, do you mean high school? Because you said college.
Did I say the wrong thing?
You said all college. He probably played point guard. I know what you meant. All shooting guard, all college.
Played shooning guard. Yeah, I said that wrong.
Yeah,
sophomore
that's why I got
year,
drafted.
He played shooting guard, freshman, point guard, and then high school. I'm assuming he played point guard. That's what I meant. I meant high school.
No, I get you.
Yeah, I think he's very skilled at either. I could see him just being a shooting guard. I don't know if that would hurt his defense a little bit because of his height. He's definitely not 6'3". So I don't know if guarding 6'6", 6'5" shooting guards would hurt his defense. But yeah, on offensively, he could do either.
The only thing is Thibodeau is really killing me here. I mean, you want to look... Zach. You want to look at the past games and minutes. And I know some have been inconsistent and whatnot. 13 minutes, 17, 21, 22.
Is this quickly?
Last 5 games, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't play great some of those games. I'd say he played good in that Portland game, the second time around. 40% from 3, 50% from the field. Only 13 minutes on 12 points. That didn't make any sense. That was the game where Elfrid played good. But still, you got to play him in garbage minutes. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he hasn't been too hot as of late. Nothing sparking. Like, what was that game he went like 4 for 4 to end the game. He went swimming. I feel like that was his last game. Like he had.
It might have been Chicago.
Is that Chicago?
Wait, no way. He only had 9 points that game.
It was a home game, I believe.
I can just see all.
That game was. That game was his last incredible game that he's had.
And we won, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, almost positive we won.
It was the Celtics, wasn't it? No, I didn't. We didn't stream them. Did we win that game?
Yeah, I think we did a stream.
Cleveland?
Yes, it was Cleveland. There
right, 25 minutes, 25 points. That's when he was on his killer streak right there.
Yep.
All right, 31, then 6, realistic rookie numbers. 31, 6, 25, 25. And ever since, 16, 9, 12, 5, 7, 16. But he's not getting the minutes. Like, if Tibbs gave him the minutes, he is going to produce. He had 16, 7, and 6 in 30 minutes. That is fine. That's no problem at all. If you're going to get 7 assists, that means you're still providing offense because you're passing to the teammates. You're making the right passes. So Thibodeau has to be way better with his substitutions. And I'm just saying, he's been a great coach. He's definitely improved the defense from last year big time. He's kind of, integrated this winning system in, okay? But he's so biased. Like, me and Zach have made jokes about it and stuff. Like, Elfrid Payton must have some sort of dirt on him or something, keeping him, playing him all these minutes and stuff. But, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. Like, why are you playing these guys so many minutes? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It really doesn't. But like we said earlier, it just doesn't make sense the way that Payne was like carries himself offensively. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Only makes sense if he does not shoot the ball. Well, that's his way.
Right. And he's just a filler. Like, me and you talked about that. He's just a filler out there. It doesn't make sense for him to be on this team, but he's there because you have to have a fifth on the court at some point. You can't play Quickly and Rose all the minutes. So I do want to say something, though. I haven't even watched the whole thing, but it's interesting because it kind of eliminates almost the Quickly shooting guard thing. Derrick Rose says he's been watching a ton of film with New York Knicks assistant coach Andy Greer to get up to speed. Rose notes that he's been playing more shooting guard since he's on the floor with Emmanuel Quickly, so he's adjusting to that role in Tibbs' offense. Greer worked with Rose in Chicago and Minnesota. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, though, because if we have someone like Rose playing shooting guard, contrary to what I was saying, does it make sense? I don't know. Maybe?
I'd say no.
I feel
like Rose is a better point guard in that sense. It just that makes no sense.
He's a better passer, too, I'd say.
Yeah. I'd say that Rose should be playing the 1 when both of them are on the floor.
Yeah.
Quickly should be playing the 2. And I feel like that would make Quickly better. But, yeah, I don't really understand that one.
And then also,
to be really honest.
I'm happy that this happened because, quite frankly, this is in a way, in my opinion, it's a bad win for them because it shows how reliant they are on their 2 stars, this Mavericks team. I'm not talking about the Knicks. I didn't want to get you confused. It was a good win for us tonight. It was a bad win for the Mavericks. And, sometimes you say you have bad wins. Like, the Knicks have had bad wins because they've had bad fourth quarters. I didn't watch this game, but the fact that Porzingis had to hit 8 threes tonight, which is absurd.
13.
8 for 13, 33 points. First good game of the year. And Luka 32, 6, and 7. That just kind of shows you, with Dorian Finney-Smith as your third player, that's a good sign for the Knicks. It means that if one of these guys gets hurt or has to rest, you don't have anybody. Because Porzingis isn't going to hit 8 threes every night. And even if he hits 8 threes when he's playing and Luka's not, you're going to lose. It's just that simple. You won by 20 on a Pelicans team that only had Zion tonight. Brandon Ingram didn't play great. I'm just going to move this over to the side. This blanket keeps falling over. But you get the point. Like, if you guys got to drop that many points to win, good luck. I'm seeing people talk trash on Luka. These Twitter comments are just ridiculous. Mavs over Lakers. They ain't even in the playoffs. Man, what are you talking about?
That's a Mavericks fan.
No, I don't know. I've seen this guy a lot. He tweets a lot of stupid stuff.
Oh, I think he's just joking.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to look at his Twitter, Wouldn't mind. We're just messing around here. NASCAR isn't a sport, he says. He's talking
about... one of the most popular
sports
in the world.
I think he wants... He looks like he's a Tampa fan, and he wants them to sign J.J. Watt. Yeah, dream.
I don't think you have that money.
Nope.
Especially when you have to sign Shaq Barrett.
How about we talk about a little bit of football? Because I've kept up a tiny bit, and I wouldn't mind understanding, Zach. I'm trying to learn here. This is a podcast. You're documenting my learning experience. We're not really podcasting at this point. We've been live for almost an hour. It's good to just have conversation on these podcasts, I just want to see. What do you want to talk about? Yankees too?
You want to talk about the Super Bowl?
Sure.
Yeah, Yankees too.
What do you want to talk about first?
We can talk Super Bowl. And then,
okay.
Because
I watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, let's talk. So, we'll talk about some Brady. Brady's just amazing. The thing with Brady, I feel like they didn't really need much of him. They needed him to be good, and he was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. Did nothing wrong. But that defense was so good to the point where it didn't matter if Brady was perfect or not. Whatsoever. That defense was ridiculous. And Mahomes was out there by himself.
I gotta say.
And it was a complete joke.
I didn't know that their team was going to play that good. The Bucks. I thought it was going to be way closer than it was. But, and I'm going to brag about it because I'm not really a cultured fan. I can't say I know much, but I predicted this from the start of the season. I said, watch out. Brady's got Gronk, okay? He's going to be good. He's going to play great. They didn't have an amazing regular season, but they had a crazy playoff run. Crazy. And Tom Brady showed up in the Super Bowl. So did his team. I guess Patrick Mahomes played with a bunch of kindergartners because they clearly couldn't catch the ball. They couldn't play any defense on him. So you're right. He was alone. But at the end of the day, it was just a better team effort from Tampa, which is why they won. So
they came out way better. Every single person on the Chiefs disappointed Mahomes. I can't say one bad thing about Mahomes.
Yeah.
Every single player. I don't care if he threw 2 picks. It was like the guy was running backwards the whole game.
I know Tyreek Hill got screwed bad. He got locked. But they sent 2 at him, didn't they?
Dropped the ball. What?
They sent 2 at Tyreek, didn't they?
Oh, most likely.
Yeah.
I would think. As a number 1 wide receiver on the team, you usually get doubled.
Oh, yeah. So, and then Travis Kelce didn't play an amazing game. He couldn't get open.
He dropped 2 passes, I think. Maybe at least 1, for sure. Maybe 2. And then Mahomes was he threw 2 balls that probably would have been the best plays of NFL history.
Yeah, when he was falling down.
Dropped. Yep.
That was a catch that should have been made. That would have probably turned into a touchdown, too.
The second one should have been caught, and at least it would have been a first down because they were like 2 yards past the first down line. Mm-hmm. And the first one hit the pylon, but that would have literally been... The guy was falling backwards and just threw the ball and it hit pylon.
Unreal.
So, should have been a sack, loss of whatever it would have been, maybe 15. But
poor guy.
Yeah. It was just, I felt so bad for Mahomes. He'll be back over 5-7 times, but yeah, that was just tough for him to be by himself on that team, on that field.
Yeah, the fact that they only scored, field goals or whatever.
Yeah. They couldn't get in the end zone. Nobody could get in the end zone for him. And every time they got close, Patrick Mahomes had to run backwards. Nobody got open.
And you'd have to throw it out. The 2 interceptions he threw, by the way, weren't even bad passes, to be honest with you. They just couldn't help him. So what are you going to do? You can't throw the ball away every time, especially on 4th downs. So you're going to have to make a pass somewhere, and if no one can get open, it's really not his fault. Because they're always precision passes. They just never go down because your players can't catch it. Like Tyreek Hill, how many yards? He only had 5 rushing yards, which also means he didn't catch the ball much. And then
they just gave it to him for fun sometimes, see what you could do on the run.
Yeah, and then 73 yards overall, which is something you can't get away with 73 yards. Like, you're going to lose the game if that's all you get. And is that 7, what's that, REC? I'm sorry, I'm so stupid.
Receptions.
Receptions. I just didn't want to sound stupid, but I knew it was receptions.
Receptions.
Anyway, okay, so that makes sense. He just got locked. And Travis Kelce, too, only 10 receptions isn't that good, quite frankly.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Are you sure it's really good? Because they weren't good at all.
Yes, that's very good. But it didn't matter because they were just little dump-offs when he had nobody else to do.
No, I feel like the only reason I said that is because I physically watched the game and he didn't look impressive because a lot of the plays were just handoffs.
Yeah, receptions 10 receptions is great, especially for a tight end.
It just depends, though. It depends what the receptions are. Like, Gronk had 2 touchdowns. That was impressive. He only had 6 receptions. So you're right. They really did just throw Gronk in the game. Many. He had 6 receptions, only 67 yards, though. Way less than Kelce.
All those came from those 2 touchdowns.
Exactly.
Their receivers didn't even do much. Mike Evans had 1 catch. And I think Godwin, how much did that say? I
don't know, but Brady only had 8 incomplete passes, which meant a lot. Because obviously Mahomes had however many. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 incomplete passes, but out of his 29 thrown, 28 went down. So that's what I mean. But, Mahomes almost, what is that, 23? 23 passes that just didn't, maybe.
Oh, you're talking about incompletions? Yeah.
Incompletions.
But a lot of those were just throwaways.
I know, because you can't, passes. If your teammates can't get open, can you blame them? I mean, you can't even blame them.
Yeah. I literally put 0 blame on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Not his fault at all.
It's funny because I feel like he made one bad play the entire game. I think he had a guy relatively open, he threw it out, but that was it. That was it. He made one mistake, but it's also because it's a split-second decision. You got 6'8" dudes rushing at you. You got to throw it away. But I know I'm getting off the football subject very quickly because I am so ill-knowledged. I don't know anything. And I watched the whole game. I swear, the entire game, all the commercials, the entire halftime show, and I just still don't understand. But I will someday. Don't get me wrong.
That was also pretty much the overall.
It's easier to talk Giants, too, because it's something I understand historically a little bit more than the Bucks and the Chiefs. I don't know anything about them. So, I didn't know. I'm going to be straight up. Hate me, but I didn't even know who Travis Kelce was till about 5 weeks ago.
That's fair.
He's second or third best player on the Chiefs.
Second.
Dude, yeah, I just couldn't tell if it was Tyreek Hill or him. But
I'd probably give it a Travis.
But I do want to talk about the Yankees a little bit because I know I'm not super smart.
Did you do your knowledge?
I tried. Okay. Doesn't mean I retained the knowledge.
Okay. But did you did your research?
I tried. Because you see, I clicked on that link before. I was looking through the signings. And obviously, I think the bigger ones are DJ LeMahieu. He signed that big extension, 6 years.
Re-signed him.
It's huge.
Amazing deal. Amazing.
I know, because he's getting older. Right.
It's only gonna hit. He's getting older. He's like 32. But it's only gonna hit the cap. Or we don't have cap. Just the luxury tax is. So what it is for salary cap, like you can't go over it in football or basketball, and I don't know what it is for hockey. Not a hockey fan, but for baseball, if you go over the luxury tax, you have to pay like fines and stuff, and owners don't want to do that.
Exactly.
So we're trying to stay above that, and DJ LeMahieu's only going to hit it $15 million a year. That's it, a year. It's 6 years, but we only have to pay him $15 a year. That's amazing. And even if when he's 38. He might be a bench player.
It's still cheap, though.
That's pretty old. Still cheap. 15 mil is not bad whatsoever.
Good.
Like Manny Machado on the Padres, he's getting paid $30 million a year.
How old is he?
He's going to be 36.
That's tough.
He's 20. He signed when he was 26.
Hey, but you got to also argue.
He's going to be 36.
You got someone on your team that's just like that in, what's his name? I'm thinking.
Padres?
No, I'm not talking about the Padres. Garrett Cole. Like, Garrett Cole has a huge deal. He's going to be like 40 when he's making all that money.
That's
now,
true.
Does that mean he's going to even be the starting pitcher at that point? I don't know. Depends who you bring in.
He'll probably still be a starting pitcher.
At 40?
He'll be in the rotation. Yeah. No, he's not going to be 40.
How old is he? Like, in his late 30s?
He's going to be 39. I guess 40. But he'll be like 30.
I knew he was going to be really old. And it's a big contract. But it's still so worth it, though, because at the end of the day, 100%. You're going to get his best years out of him. Maybe he's a little past his best years, but you're going to get the rest of his years. And that's
he's in his year. Yeah. He's in his prime right now.
Right. The only thing I would have done over, and maybe I know you'll probably get them back, maybe not Luke Voigt or Voyet. How do you Voigt?
Voigt. Luke
Voigt. But
not Voyet.
You would have loved to re-sign him instead of giving him pretty much the basketball equivalents to a qualifying offer. Same with Aaron Judge. You know, it would have been more comfortable to just have both those guys back, but how much does that set you back financially?
Well, you don't. In baseball, you wait till they're practically free agents. Unless you're... I think the only team that's been doing extensions are like the Braves, who are going, and the White Sox. They've been signing their really young guys really early.
Okay.
So they don't have to pay them too much when they hit free agency, because these guys are going to be worth like $35 million, maybe 40 by the time baseball in 6 years, these contracts. So, but the way the Yankees do it, we just wait till they're free agents. Maybe let him hit free agency. Maybe give him the extension a year before he hits free agency. So we're not going to do that yet.
Gotcha.
We're going to wait. They give him the arbitration. Wait till they're available to be free agents, and then give them the extension if they deserve it. The Yankees are very careful with their money now. So
that makes sense. Now, I do want to bring up one thing, not Yankees related, but you kind of brought it to my attention. Apparently, the Lakers are probably going to have to pay $100 million in taxes this year if they retain their current roster and their salaries. You know, they got AD on the max, they got LeBron on a super max. Do you trade away one of their players? Now, I don't want to get into that because we're talking about Yankees, but it's just something popped in my mind I wanted to get off my chest before the podcast ended. Because do the Knicks make a move for a guy like Alex Caruso legitimately? Because I know he's a meme and all, but he's a good player.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. And if you want to have him as your starter or backup or whatnot, you know. But that's something we'll talk about another day, especially because the Lakers shouldn't be giving up any of the roster. If I'm the owner of the Lakers, what is it? No, it's not Rob Pelinka. It's just the GM. It's what's her name?
I know who you're talking.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Neither do I. She didn't own the team for very long, I don't think, or at least her father used to own it. You know what I'm talking about, though.
I know exactly. Yeah.
Jeannie Buss.
I just remember from the bubble.
Jeannie Buss, I believe, is the owner.
Yep, Jeannie Buss.
But it's not the point. The point is, do you pay the $100 million in taxes, or do you actually trade someone? Are you cheap, or you gonna pull a James Harden move, or not?
Depends. If they win it again, then there's no reason why they'd mess with this team. Right?
Well, the thing is that you're gonna have to worry about that potentially at the deadline, because you're going to have to pay it regardless at the end of the season. It just depends who you have this year. So if they had, I don't know how much Alex Caruso is making. I know Dennis Schroeder is making a decent amount, so is Montrez. I mean, Montrez is on a cheap deal, but it's still like $6 to $8 million, something like that, for the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. So, do you ship those contracts off? I don't know.
I think it'd be a crime.
I think it would be, too. If you're trying to win.
There's just no way. Yeah, you're trying to win a championship again, which they not easily, but they have a very legitimate chance of doing.
Of course.
Yeah. It would be a crime to
LeBron would be pissed.
Trade because of money.
LeBron would be pissed. He's like,
okay,
GM
so LeBron's not letting that happen.
He does control the team. If there's a trade that happens, he does it for the best of himself. It's just that situation right now. I mean, I'm seeing also Gary Sanchez here. Gio. There's a lot of guys that I don't know about, but obviously all of them are arbitration. I mean, how much are you going to have to pay these guys? You're going to have quite the payday coming up in a few years.
When all of them reach there, Gary Sanchez, I don't know if we said him. He's got one more year to prove himself. If he doesn't do anything this year, there's no reason why he's going to be on this team for much longer.
Now, what happened to him? Because I thought he was all right.
He's terrible.
Really?
He's terrible. Huh. He can't hit. We benched him in the playoffs. We played our backup catcher over him because of how bad he is.
It's a shame.
Yeah, he can't hit. I knew at the beginning of the year we faced Max Scherzer, who's a very good pitcher, probably top 5 in baseball right now, and the guy couldn't make any contact. And I was like, ooh, it's not looking good. And he just followed that up for the rest of the year. Literally couldn't hit over 96 miles an hour to save his life. It was just an ugly year. Very, very. It was the worst year of his career. It was only 60 games. So that hurts, but it was a very, very bad 60 games. The worst 60 games of his career.
It's quite the shame.
He batted 120 maybe? It was bad.
Whoa. I know how bad that is because I know Hall of Fame is like 300.
They batted 147. Yeah, if you want to make the Hall of Fame, you got to bat 300. That's it.
Yeah, but obviously Hall of Fame is different. Are you talking about Aaron Judge? I know Luke had a really good year. He had almost what was it? He should have been on the cover, honestly, of the MLB game. I saw a lot of controversy about that. I did.
Definitely not.
Are you sure?
Definitely not.
Who's on the cover?
They gave it Fernando Tatis, who's the one. He's going to be the face of baseball soon. Not the face, but one of the faces of baseball.
I need to do so much more studying.
Yeah, Luke Voigt's not getting the.
I've never heard of him.
Coverage, right? Never getting the cover.
Never.
Or being a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
It's disrespect.
The guy's like 29.
He had a good year though.
He had a great year. It was 60 games. So, but he had a great year. He's 30 years old. Yeah, I wouldn't say Luke Voigt Hall of Fame.
Well, let's see. He bats 300 for the rest of his damn career. He's not making it.
Yeah, he.
How about DJ LeMahieu? I know he's older now, but has he had some good years so far with the Yankees?
Well, his 2 years were some of his best years of his career.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, it just hurts to say, but the year was 60 games. Like, that's not even...
That's like 1/3 of the season.
Times that by 2, there's still 40 more games, even if you times that 60-game season by 2.
Yeah,
so it hurts,
crazy.
but he batted .360, which is insane. Highest batting average in baseball.
Damn!
He won the batting title. So...
Yeah, but would he have kept it up? If you look at the consistencies...
Nobody could bat 360.
Not for 150 something games, 140 games. Whatever.
320, 330. Yes, I think he could have kept that up.
Well, here's the thing.
It would have obviously dropped.
I know you can't base it off of the same year because there's progression in the offseason, but if you look at the trends during his career, do you typically see a good start or a good finish and whatnot? Because if this guy's not a good finisher to the year and he's not a great playoff player, then that means he probably wouldn't have kept it up. But that is up to you to decide.
He's a pretty consistent guy.
Okay, good.
I think the guy stays consistent throughout the year.
Injuries, though, too. Injuries could happen.
He's pretty not injury-prone.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty healthy throughout the year. He had one freak incident with his thumb this season, which he missed maybe a week. He came back immediately.
I know Aaron Judge had a ton of hamstring issues. this year.
Yeah, well, Aaron Judge had a calf, big calf injury.
Oh, it was calf. Okay, I was one of the lower things. That's what I remember.
And Stan literally is made of glass. The guy can't stay healthy for his life. So we hope, and all he has to do is DH. I don't know if you know what a designated hitter is. It's
no.
All you do is hit. You're in the lineup and you just hit. You don't go in the field. And the guy's still
is Garrett Cole a DP, designated pitcher?
Sure, Jack. He's a starting pitcher. All he does is pitch.
That's what I thought. So he is a DP, designated pitcher.
That's not a thing. But
that's what it is, though. Designated hitter, designated pitcher. I see no difference. If anyone's watching that understands the Yankees, I really have to apologize. This is a crime right now, what I'm doing.
I don't know if you know this, but so the Yankees are in the American League, and then there's a National League. It's like East and West, but it's not by being in the West or East. It doesn't matter where you are, but there's just 2 leagues.
Okay.
And in the other league, pitchers hit. So there is no designated hitter. What the designated hitter is, it takes away pitchers hitting. So there is no designated hitter in the National League. You have to hit if you're a pitcher.
That's interesting.
So Garrett Cole used to hit. He used to play on the Pirates, which was in the National League. So he did hit.
Yeah.
He pitched. Not anymore.
Right.
So no designated pitcher.
So I'm just looking again because, again, I'm not understanding this baseball stuff. I did do my research, though, which I'm proud of, so I understand a tiny bit. But I try. I try. Hey, if there was Yankee games right now and we were in Discord, I would watch them with you. But it's just a timing issue because, of course, the second the NBA season started, the playoffs are going on or whatnot. I can't even remember the timeline, but I know that the Yankee season was pretty much over by the time this podcast began, so it was just tough. But obviously cover free agency a little bit. We just did that a little bit on this podcast. And there's still stuff to be doing. It can be, or moves can be made and whatnot. We can talk about it. Yeah.
But season starting soon. Pitchers and catchers report on the 15th, which is fun, exciting. And full team, I think, 22nd. I could be wrong on that date. But
no, you're probably around there.
It's coming up. So
yes.
Exciting things to watch. A really good, hopefully another World Series chance.
I know that
for another game.
The Dodgers, didn't they make some
Dodgers
moves?
Are scary. Yeah, that team is scary. They just got the best pitcher on the market, Trevor Bauer.
Wow. Well, maybe not the best in the league, though, right?
Dirty. Oh, they are. They just won the World Series.
So, no. I mean, they're the best team in the league, but is he the best pitcher in the league?
Well, he said on the market. Cy Young, which is like the MVP of pitching.
Okay.
So I think he's very overrated because he had one really good 60-game season. So they're going off of that, and they gave him $40 million a year for 3 years. I think it's backloaded, so I think he's going to make like $45 million. It's the second year of that deal. So he's going to make a ton of money. His ERA is a little high career-wise for being the most highest paid athlete in America. So I don't know. What I think they're just banking on what he did in 60 games in a season, which is very risky. But he is a good pitcher. Not worth $40 million, though. So we'll see. But it's just ridiculous that the Dodgers just won the World Series and had the best free agent on the market. So it is what it is. We'll see what they could do with it. I don't know if you know. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, Zach. I was just looking at fantasy.
Yeah.
It's not looking good, bro.
You're going to lose?
Yeah. It's not even my fault. Injuries have riddled my team. Robert Covington, terrible. Should have picked up Mitch. But I understand what you're saying about them winning the World Series. I could definitely see him. Because you said he's overrated, but I don't understand. If he played a 60-game season, just like Garrett Cole did and all these other pitchers, you have to give the award to someone. And if he had the best season, you have to consider that.
But it was only 60 games.
Yeah.
Which, if you're... I guess they think he's just going to put up an ERA under 2, maybe low 2. So if he does that, fine. That makes sense why he got a deal that he did. But I don't know if you know, he did the Mets really dirty, New York Mets.
I never watched it, but I know the Mets coming into the season, last season, they weren't great. Or were they? But I know this season, they are now kind of a powerhouse team, is what I've heard.
They're looking to give a ton of free agents money. They didn't get any of the top 3, but they did get the best shortstop by a trade in the deal, Francisco Lindor. But they really wanted Bauer, and it looked like they were going to get Bauer. and Bauer was actually selling merchandise on his website, Mets merchandise.
Oh, what happened
then? Sold. He claims he wrote out a huge tweet apologizing, saying that his team wasn't supposed to release anything until the deal was done, and he had no idea where he was going, so it wasn't even like he knew he was going to the Dodgers. But everybody really thinks that he purposely did that to make the Dodgers jump the gun and give him more money so they could sign him. So that's what people think happened. But he claims otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I
think he's lying.
I don't think he's lying. I mean, I can't take his word for it instantly because myself, I'm not a fan. I don't know his background and whatnot. But I don't think you do that because I think that's going to be a serious tampering case. So there's obviously a lot of things to take into consideration.
Yeah, I don't think there's rules against it, but it's genius. I'm going to give it to him. Like,
trying to make money.
If you're trying to do that and you're trying to make a lot more money, it's genius.
Yeah.
But it's really messed up to that fan base for literally selling Mets merchandise with Trevor Bauer on it, his signature on it, everything.
Maybe he genuinely.
The Dodgers next day.
Maybe he wanted to be there. I don't think you actually put that much effort in just because you want to negotiate a better deal. I think that he may have wanted to go there. Maybe the deal was almost done. It never worked. But who knows?
Yes. With baseball, it's all about money. So whoever gave him the most money, and Dodgers stepped up.
Yeah,
gave him the most money.
Good for them. But they don't need it. But good for them.
That's true. They really don't need him. They just won the World Series. But
yeah.
I want to pay him.
All right. Well,
that's all I got on baseball.
I'd say it's good to end the stream now. Good conversation. It doesn't even matter if we get a fan base or not. I'm just happy to have these conversations. Baseball, Giants. We will talk about the Giants, but it's just not in season.
Yeah.
Saquon, though, he'll be back next year. It's good to see.
So
will he be back the first game of next year, you think?
Oh, 100%. No doubt about it.
Yeah. But if anyone who is watching, don't think anyone is, but if anyone's watching and you enjoy the stream, don't mind you dropping a sub, a like, whatnot. That'd be cool.
Sir.
But you know what? I think I'm going to call it now, as will Zach, because he has no choice. I am closing the stream.
I'm outnumbered.
Yes, sir. By one person. All right, boys. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace. I got to wait like 2 seconds to end the stream, or the peace out won't even register.
Yeah, I know.